This incident took place at a luxurious party where people had gathered to show off their status, power, and influence. The purpose of the gathering was less about celebration and more about proving superiority over others. Every person tried to appear greater than the rest through clothes, tone, and attitude. Among them, the narrator stood quietly beside his wife with simplicity and dignity. His silence was not weakness, but a sign of strong character. His wife's boss believed himself to be the most important and powerful person at the party. His behavior clearly showed that he measured respect only by position and money. The moment his eyes fell on the narrator, he judged him as inferior without hesitation. He assumed the narrator was an ordinary and insignificant man. In front of everyone, the boss began mocking the narrator with sarcastic remarks. His words were poisonous, though he disguised them as jokes. Everyone at the party witnessed it, yet remained silent. No one had the courage to stand up for the truth. Despite the humiliation, the narrator remained calm and composed. He understood that responding is not always necessary. Sometimes silence becomes the strongest reply. The boss mistook the narrator's silence for weakness. This misunderstanding only fueled his arrogance. He believed he had the right to belittle anyone he pleased. The narrator's wife was breaking inside, but her husband's patience steadied her. The narrator knew that truth cannot stay hidden forever. Time is the force that removes every mask. Slowly, the conversation began to shift. During a discussion, the narrator's true identity was mentioned. A sudden silence spread across the hall. The people who were laughing moments ago were now stunned. The truth began to reveal itself piece by piece. The narrator was not an ordinary man at all. He was a highly influential and successful individual. His position was far above everyone present there. His success was the result of quiet, consistent hard work. The boss's face began to lose its color. The walls of his arrogance started to crumble. The man who once felt superior now avoided eye contact. He realized he had insulted a dignified human being. But this realization came too late. Even then, the narrator showed no pride or arrogance. His silence now carried even deeper meaning. The boss's embarrassment was visible throughout the hall. The words he had spoken became a burden on his own conscience. Those who fail to give respect eventually lose it themselves. The atmosphere of the gathering completely changed. People now looked at the narrator with respect. The man once ignored had become the center of attention. The narrator's simplicity forced everyone to reflect. The incident proved that true status lies in character. Wealth and titles are temporary. True strength lies in patience and restraint. The boss fully realized his mistake, but he could not undo the damage. The narrator chose silence over revenge. That choice itself was his greatest victory. Without humiliating anyone, he elevated himself. The incident became a lesson for everyone present. People learned that appearances can be deceiving. True reality often hides behind the curtain. Quiet people are not necessarily weak. Sometimes, they are the strongest ones. Arrogance blinds a person, and a blind person cannot see the truth. The boss lost his dignity because of his own tongue. The narrator spoke everything without uttering a word. His silence became a powerful message. This story teaches us the true measure of humanity. Every human being deserves respect, no matter how quiet they may be. Looking down on others is the greatest weakness. True power lies in humility. Those who think they are great often turn out to be small, and those who appear small often prove to be great. This incident is not just about one party. It reflects the reality of society, a society that judges people by status, not by humanity. The narrator silently challenged this mindset. His patience left everyone speechless. The boss had fallen in his own eyes. The party ended, but the lesson remained. The narrator earned respect, not noise. That is true success. Time proved that truth always wins. Arrogance is temporary. Character lasts forever. The narrator rose without pushing anyone down. That is true humanity. That is true strength. That is true identity. This story teaches us to think before we speak. It teaches us the value of silence. It teaches us how to be human. True identity does not lie in words. It lies hidden in character. The narrator's silence became a mirror. A mirror in which everyone saw their true face. The boss saw his. The gathering saw theirs. Society saw its own reflection. That is the core truth of this story. That is its real message. That is its true power. Sometimes silence is the loudest voice. Patience is the greatest strength. Respect is the most valuable wealth. And arrogance is the greatest weakness. The narrator proved all of this, without saying a single word, without creating noise, without humiliating anyone. That was the real victory. That was the real lesson. That was the real truth. Every wise person understood it. Even those who didn't still learned from it, because truth always finds its way. With time, with silence, and with complete dignity.